Welcome to MTG Friends. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Zach.
And this is day 3 of Commander Legend. Woohoo! What? All right, let's jump right into breeches, brazen, plunder. It's a 4-drop in red, 3/3 legendary creature, goblin, pirate. It is an uncommon menacer. Whenever one or more pirates you control deals damage to your opponents, exile the top card of each of those opponents' libraries. You may play those cards this turn, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast those spells, and it's a partner.
I missed this one yesterday when I was compiling our list, but it's here now. This card seems like it goes really well with Malcolm, Keen-Eyed Navigator, who we talked about yesterday, who's also a pirate. I feel like his ability mostly synergizes with Malcolm for the most part. I think the funniest part here is that you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast those, since Malcolm makes treasures and you can just make mana of any color.
Yeah, that is kind of goofy.
You won't always have Malcolm and breeches out at the same time if you're playing them both in a deck. But I love that both of these cards don't even specify combat damage, just as long as a pirate can deal some damage.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
That's cool.
Somewhere.
And
you get to steal the top card of that damaged opponent's library.
Yeah, and it's interesting that there's a lot of pirate tribal going on in this set.
Yeah. So. It appears to be the blue-red draft theme for this set.
Yeah, and
which is great.
And if I had a pirate hat, I'd be wearing it right now.
Oh, yeah. Yarp. I'm ready. But yeah, this card looks super cool. I think this is very, very powerful as well. Basically lets you play your opponent's decks, and all you have to do is ping them with a pirate. I'm on board with that, frankly.
Yes, indeed. All right, next up is Kamal, Heart of Croza, 6 green, 5/5, human druid. At the beginning of combat of your turn, creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample until end of turn. And for 2 until end of turn, target land you control becomes a 1/1 elemental creature with vigilance, indestructible, and haste. It's still a land, and this thing's a partner. There is so much going on in this card.
Well, I'm putting this in Ogun.
Yeah. Holy moly.
But, I mean, 8 mana is a lot, but it's in green, so, like...
That's not a problem.
It's a lot, but it's not, like, insane.
No.
But that beginning of combat, +3/+3, trample, oh my goodness, free overrun, every combat. And if you compare this with any extra combats whatsoever, you're getting an additional +3/+3 every single time. So what I'm saying is Morag loves this card.
Yeah, and I think it was strong enough even without that create elementals. And it's just like,
yeah,
that's also happening? Okay.
And it's also a partner, which lets you get some more colors. But again, 8 mana is a huge ask for a commander.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can have 2 of them definitely mitigates that, like, downside, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Super cool card, honestly. This feels like a mythic rare to me.
Yep. All right. Kamal's Will, 4-drop in green. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast this spell, you may choose both. And then we had the black version yesterday. Or
yes,
the
day one.
Day one. Yeah, so this is obviously a set.
Yeah, there's a cycle of will cards for each of the monocolored mythic rare commanders.
Interesting. All right, so back to this one. Until end of turn, any number of target lands you control become 1/1 elemental creatures with vigilance, indestructible, and haste. Yeah. They're still lands, and or choose target creature you don't control. Each creature you control deals damage equal to its power to that creature. Yeah. Each creature?
Each creature.
Whoa.
So basically, every creature you have just goes, you.
Dude.
Bam.
Dude. This is crazy card.
I love that first effect is just Kamal's activated ability. But, these are both really good options. This is either 4 mana, like creature-based point kill, or, overrun with a bunch of lands out of nowhere that can't even be killed. Don't even tap when they attack. Like, it's so cool.
Dude,
I really, really like this card.
Yeah, I do too. Wow. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Court of Cunning. It is a 3-drop in blue. When Court of Cunning enters the battlefield, you become the monarch, and it's an enchantment. Oh, the monarch is back in full swing. At the beginning of your upkeep, any number of target players each mill 2 cards. If you're the monarch, each of those players mills 10 cards.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is the first time I'm reading this particular card, and that is crazy.
Isn't it fantastic?
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
And we just
I think
got
the thing
that.
I like the most about this card, though, is it's not in each opponent. You can selectively target who you want to mill, and you
Oh.
can even mill yourself if you want to be like a self-mill deck.
Yeah, and then
Cards like Sidisi will love this.
well, and on top of this, we have that one out of Zendikar Rising that just came out, which was the was it Cacophony? Is that it?
Yeah, Maddening
Maddening
Cacophony. Mill
Cacophony.
8 or
Or
kick it
half
to
their
mill.
library.
Yeah, I think this card is super good. I mean, already just play it as a 3-drop to become the
I
Monarch,
know.
which I think is the new lowest mana cost to become the Monarch.
Holy moly.
I think 4 was previously our lowest. I could be incorrect about that, and I'm currently looking it up as we speak.
Yep.
But I'm pretty sure this is now the lowest cost mana that makes you become the Monarch at 3.
And I am absolutely certain that at this point, you and I are going to make a deck tech for milling with all of the milling cards.
Absolutely.
Because
I can confirm this is the lowest mana cost that causes you to become the Monarch.
Wow, that's incredible. All right,
Great card.
moving on. Amarath the Lustrous. It is in all sorts of colors. It's 3 green, white, blue, flyer, legendary dragon. Whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it shares a card type with that permanent, you may reveal that card and put it into your hand. Oh, I was so
It's
hoping.
a flying 6/6.
Yeah, this thing would be so much better if it was onto the battlefield, but
It'd be so much more broken if it was onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
We already have Kodama the Eastree doing that.
I know.
I actually think this card pairs really, really well with Chulain, Teller of Tales.
Okay.
Because Chulain wants to be constantly bouncing creatures and putting them back onto the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
So having an Amarath out while you do that just basically lets you play your creature and essentially peek and possibly draw a card. The fact that it triggers off your lands as well. I mean, you basically get a quasi-scry, or at least a peek, and then potentially a draw every time you play it permanent.
Yeah, and that is interesting. It's not a non-land permanent. It's a
Nope,
permanent.
just any permanent.
Yeah.
You play a land, you get to peek and see if there's a land there.
Yeah.
So the way I see this deck being built is really just minimize the number of permanent types you run.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably going to avoid most artifacts. You're probably going to avoid enchantments if you feel the need.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to want to run lean and mean, lands, creatures, some instants and sorceries.
Yeah.
To make Amarath easier to hit with.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably going to want scry effects, so you can kind of set up with that as well. A card like the old Thassa that lets you scry 1 every turn can definitely help you kind of set up a little cascade with Amarath that lets you draw a lot of cards.
Yeah.
I think I wish this card cost 2 green, white, blue, or 1 green, white, blue, and had lesser stats.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really care because I think this card's really cool.
Yeah.
It's a nice value engine without feeling super busted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got enough mana to cast that it's not busted.
Right. So our next card is probably the hardest to pronounce name in all of Magic history.
Yes.
Gormuldrak Amphinologist. He is a 1 green blue legendary human scout with stats 3/2. It says you and permanents you control have protection from salamanders, who are truly one of the greatest threats that we have ever encountered in Magic.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Terrifying. No. There's no salamander cards. But at the beginning of your end step, each player who controls the fewest creatures creates a 4/3 blue salamander warrior creature token. Now let's be clear here. This card is not out of nowhere. There's a reason that he's giving you protection from salamanders. His flavor text hints at it a little bit. He says, the day of reckoning is coming. Knowledge of the Amphin may be our only refuge. You see, Gormuldrak is actually a super deep-cut lore character who showed up in the flavor text of 2 cards, one from Core 2012 and one from Core 2015. Essentially, this dude believes that there is a race of warrior salamanders who live under the earth and are biding their time to sneak out and attack everybody. And it turns out he's right. He is completely right. And so there is a vanilla card that talks about Amphin, their society and whatever, and how they're girding for war. And then there's another one where he talks a little bit about how they've made everybody think they're fake. But he's actually completely correct. This guy is not crazy. And in fact, our very next preview card is Amphin Mutineer.
Oh boy.
A salamander pirate. Look at that. He's a 3 and a blue salamander pirate, 3/3. When he enters the battlefield, exile up to one non-salamander creature. Target non-salamander creature. That creature's controller creates a 4/3 blue salamander warrior creature token. He's got Encore for 4 blue, which I think is like an incredible rate for this card. 4 mana already, come in, exile anything, and give them a vanilla 4/3.
Yeah.
But then Encore
do it
for
again.
6, you exile this, and you get 3 pieces of removal. I think that's incredible.
That is.
And I think giving your opponents a 4/3 is like really not the biggest of your worries, because if there's something that's worth removing, giving them a bit of a beater is really not that big of a deal.
No, and that's super interesting. Salamander pirate. Right.
And I just love the like super deep cut that they pulled this out of. This is hilarious to me that somebody on the team was like, yo, remember those 2 like complete trash commons we printed in 2 different core sets, 5 to 8 years ago? Let's like make the dude and then make another Amphin. Why not?
And alas, they did.
And they did, and I'm so delighted that they did, because this is hilarious. Genuinely one of my favorite, like, weird lore choices, and I'm so glad they did this.
Sweet. All right, Port Razor in red. It's a 3 red 4/4 orc pirate. Whenever Port Razor deals combat damage to a player, untap each creature you control. After this combat phase, there is an additional combat phase. Oh boy. Port Razor can't attack a player it has already attacked this turn. Wow, that's really interesting. So if you combo this up with Morog can hit whoever it wants.
Yeah.
But this one has to oscillate between opponents.
Well, yeah, and I was going to say, you hit exactly on why I think this card's actually really, really good. Let's say there's one player who is taking over the game.
Yep.
And there's the 3 of you and your other 2 opponents. You're like, hey, I got an idea. You guys let me hit you for 4 each. Just 4 damage. I'm going to swing everything else I got at that guy.
Yep.
You swing everything at them. You connect with the Port Razor. You get another combat step. Then you point the Port Razor at your buddy, who said, yeah, sure, you can hit me. You hit them with the 4/4, and every other creature still goes at that first guy.
Yep.
And then your third ally, you're like, look, he's about dead. We can kill him right now. My Port Razor doesn't have evasion, you guys don't have to worry about this again.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. You point the 4/4 at him, you point everything else at that first guy, you take a dude out. You get 3 combat steps.
Yeah, you whack-a-mole 3 times.
The politics on this card, I think, are super, super good.
Yeah.
What a creative card.
Yep, indeed. And yeah, comboing this up with Morog will make that even crazier.
Every extra combat step you can get. Really love it.
Prabha of the Steel Legion. This one jumped out at both of us. It's a 3-drop, 1/4 legendary creature, cat soldier. Meow. As long as it's your turn, creature tokens you control get +1, +4. I always chuckle when I read something crazy like this. And for 4, you create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, and it's a partner. Wow.
I have one complaint about this card. Just one. Why does he make soldiers instead of cats?
Oh.
Why doesn't he make cat soldiers?
Or a cat soldier, yeah.
Yeah, like, give me my cat soldiers. He's a cat soldier, and he's literally, like, cloning his power onto those onto those soldiers. Make them cats, dude!
Yeah.
Come on!
Yeah, this is...
Seriously, this card is sick. Like, genuinely sick.
That's really crazy. +1, +4. I mean, yeah. Yep.
I'm, like, genuinely loving this card. I think it's super, super cool.
Like, you could...
And if I'm correct, I don't think this is an existing lore character. I think this is a new thing.
Well, and you could run this with Doran, Siege Tower.
Yeah.
And just wreak havoc.
Yeah, because people were talking about, like, this and Doran, or this and... oh my gosh, the dragon from M19. Arcades, there we go. Yep.
Oh, you got it?
Yep, Arcades.
Right,
I think this is actually better for Doran. I think Doran loves this card.
Doran definitely loves this card.
Yep, it would go in the, the body of Doran, I guess, or you could pair him up with a black-green partner. Because I think what is that? That's Ishi Shadiq, I believe, and I actually think Shadiq is incredible with this card. So maybe that's the better way to go, is Prabha and Ishra Shadiq. But what a cool card! I really, really like this card.
This is interesting. All right, Yurlok of the Burnthrash. It is a 4/4 drop in black, red, green, and colorless vigilance. And it's a shaman. Players lose life equal to unspent mana they lose. And 1 tap. Each player adds black, red, green. This thing.
John's gifts are never free of charge.
Yeah, this thing is interesting.
I'm so excited by this card.
Yeah, this is something. The fact that it is a mana generator, that's a lot of mana.
You pay 1, you get 3.
Yeah, I mean, holy moly, and this is a 4-drop, so
yeah, super easy to get out.
Mm-hmm.
That players lose life equal to unspent mana they lose. You can make this card really, really brutal. There are some nasty, nasty ways to do some nasty, nasty things with this card. Playing cards like War's Toll. Players either have to get all the mana they can out of it, or they get 1 shot. And the fact that there are ways to untap this dude and still at least somewhat profit. You don't even have to generate mana with Yurlok. You just have to generate mana for everyone else.
Well, and
so Umbral Mantle makes this a kill if nobody has a mana outlet.
Well, and this is an interesting throwback because for those of you who haven't been playing for a long, long time, unspent mana used to burn you for damage. So at some point, do you remember when that changed? Because I would
long time
ago.
Like genuinely, cards like Mana Crypt, cards like Soul Ring, they weren't as good.
Yeah, because
cards like Lion's Eye Diamond, they didn't seem as good. I mean, Lion's Eye Diamond had some additional ruling changes, but like all those cards that generated a ton of additional mana, you like genuinely had to be kind of careful around.
Yeah, you had to spend it, or else you lost life on whatever you didn't spend.
Yeah, you lost 1 life for each 1 mana that emptied from your pool. Like Mana Drain, that card was designed with the mana addition as a downside. Seriously, you countered the spell, you got that mana on your main phase, and you had to find a way to spend it, or you were taking some damage. But then they changed that rule, and suddenly Mana Drain's like,
it's like, sweet.
What's up?
So I digress. That was a side.
I'm really, really excited to build around this. I think making mana burn happen again is going to be an absolute blast.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Oh, and this one. All right. Horizon Stone for 5. If you would lose unspent mana, that mana becomes colorless instead. Holy shnikes, this is an amazingly awesome card.
Yeah. This is the last ability that Krufix God of Horizon has, but on its own colorless artifact. So I love that the flavor text mentions Krufix and seems to kind of talk about how he got that power. But what a cool card.
Yeah, and colorless.
I wish it was 4 rather than 5. I think I would be a little happier with, but it essentially allows you to tap all your mana whenever you want and just bank it for later.
Yeah.
You leave that mana open to do something, and then you don't have to do it. You can just tap all your mana at the end of an opponent's turn, and bam, you got a bunch of colorless going into it.
And there's a lot of support for colorless mana.
And hilariously, total accidental sequencing here, but this card essentially turns off Yurlok for you.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make you lose that mana. It becomes colorless instead.
Yeah.
So you're not going to take any damage if Yurlok's granting you mana.
Ironic. Coincidental. Coincidental.
Yeah, totally, genuinely did not sequence them this way intentionally.
All right, meteoric mace, 4 red. Ooh, that's expensive. Equipped creature gets +4/+0 and has trample and equip 4. Ugh, garbage. This is garbage.
But Cascade.
Oh, I didn't even notice the Cascade. All right, Cascade.
So,
wow.
I still think this card is garbage, but I think it's less garbage because it has Cascade on it. It's intentionally priced so high because of the Cascade ability.
Yeah.
But seriously, why is it the 2 equips we've seen so far, both of them are ruined by equip 4?
Yeah.
This card is 10 mana before you do anything with it.
Yeah, this should be 2. Equip 2.
Equip 2 I would have been totally happy with. I don't even care that that's 8 mana. I mean, 4/0 trample, real solid.
Yeah.
And Cascade into a 5-drop or lower
is cool.
Also solid. But
oops. Nah.
Equip 4 is just way too much.
Yeah, yes it is. We agree. Yeah, I'm not digging that
At
one.
least it's just an uncommon and not wasting a mythic slot like the other one.
Yes, that is true. Oh, can you imagine cracking a pack with that thing as a
Oh,
mythic or a rare? Oh man.
whip out a mythic and it's that
You're
jank.
like, boo, hiss. All right,
Yeah.
Zara Renegade Recruiter. This one was super cool when I read it. 3 blue, red, 4/3 legendary human pirate. I just had to do it. It's okay.
Have to every time.
Flying. When Zara Renegade Recruiter attacks, look at defending player's hand. You may put a creature card from it onto the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker that player controls. Return that creature to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. Dude,
I love this card.
that's awesome.
It's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Sorry.
Can you?
Absolutely hilarious. The flavor on this is just through the roof.
Yeah.
A pirate that's like, hey, come on, come join me. Come join me.
Yeah, it's just like, holy moly. I love that.
So funny. You basically get to pick a creature out of their hand, smack them with it, and then say, here you go, you can have it back.
Until
Or
the next
if
time.
for diabolical, you go, no, you don't get to have it back because I'm sacrificing it to one of my sacrifice effects.
Oh yeah, there's all sorts of janky stuff you could do with that.
Yep.
Especially in blue red, which has lots of abilities to jankify everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I think this card's super cool. It feels like the like backbone rare for a pirates deck. So like if you don't get Malcolm and our other buddy who was at breeches, yeah, if you don't get Malcolm and breeches, like just go Zara. I think this is great.
Yep.
Or both. You can play Zara in them, or the other way around.
For real. All right. Cordis Cinderclaw Familiar, 2-drop, 1/1. Legendary Elemental Lizard. And I must say, and Zach and I were talking about this earlier, I'm not used to seeing legendary creatures as uncommons, but as Zach pointed out, it gives you more ability to get them in packs. So I'm a fan of that because of
So
that.
especially for Commander Legends,
Mhm.
it's really important that they had a wide variety of legends available.
Yeah.
So that you didn't either have to take your rare, every single time you opened a pack
Mhm.
just to get yourself a commander.
Yeah.
Dominaria did this as well, where it guaranteed a legend in every pack and had legends at uncommon,
Mhm.
specifically because a major theme of the set was legendary cards.
Yeah.
So I think it really works in this set, and I like that they've been kind of going that route where they have some uncommon legends just to
Mhm.
give commander players more options with every single set. Not everyone is going to be great, but it's cool to see more named cards on cards.
Yeah.
Really named characters.
Absolutely. And back
See what he does.
back to this thing. Whenever a commander you control deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent and its partner. So hey, that's cool.
Yeah,
I like
so
that.
2 mana, and I mean it's like a reflection for all that damage. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Oh, this is in a different language.
Yes, this is a reprint card, but it is another reprint that has been very desperately needed and very thankfully is at a common. This is Findhorn Elves.
Oh goodness, yeah.
Yep, 1 green for a 1/1 that taps to add green. This is the third Llanowar Elves that has existed for a long while, the others being Llanowar Elves and Elvish Mystic. But this one's really been creeping up in price, like quite significantly, and has not received a reprint for a really long time. So it's really, really cool to finally see this in modern 2020 border at common to make sure the supply is there.
Yep, and
Great job.
that rounds us off on today's spoilers.
Yes, it does.
Check out the other ones if you need to catch up. Stay tuned for the additional episodes and additional days. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. And thanks for tuning in. We'll hopefully...
And if you're subscribe if you want to see some cool deck techs with these cards. Let us know who you'd like to see in the comments below, and we'd be delighted to build some of these.
Absolutely.
These look so much fun.
And any comment you put, we will absolutely respond.